Jeremiah 35 on deployment with Grindstone Ministries in the Rolling Fork, Mississippi area after these devastating tornadoes, more of which came in last night. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Yoshiyahu, king of Judah, saying, Go to the house of the Rechabites, and you shall speak to them, and bring them into the house of Yahweh, into one of the rooms, and give them wine to drink. Now, there's a lot going on in this Jeremiah 35 that relates to us today. This has a lot to do with traditions of men versus the word of Yah. I think it has implications for when people make the argument of, well, my grandpa was a Baptist and he didn't understand about the Torah and he died, and so is he not going to be in heaven? Like, how does that work? Also, right here, go into the house of Yahweh, the temple, the house of God, into one of the rooms and give them wine to drink. Come at me, Baptists. Give them what? Give them wine to drink. Yeah. The bread and the wine, man. Yeshua. You know, the bread and the wine, the hamotzi, look that up. The concept of bread and wine and the breaking of bread and covenants existed way before the Last Supper. That is a millennia-old tradition. And Jeremiah, took Ya'aznaiah, the son of Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, the son of Habattasiah, and his brother and all his sons, and all the house of the Rechabites, and I brought them into the house of Yahweh, the temple, into the room of the sons of Hanan, son of Yigdal-Yahu, a man of Elohim. All right, Yigdal-Yahu, good dude, man of Elohim, which was by the chamber of the heads, above the room of Maaseyahu, son of Shalom, the keeper of the door. And I set before the sons of the house of the Rechabites bowls filled with wine, and cups, and I said to them, Drink wine. But they said, We do not drink wine, because Yonadav, the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, saying, You shall not drink wine, neither you nor your sons forever. All right, so at first glance, maybe the Rechabites are Nazarites. It's at Numbers 6, the Nazarite vow. Maybe they're Nazarites. They're to abstain from wine and anything derived from a grape. Samson was a Nazarite. The Apostle Paul in the New Testament is under a Nazarite vow for a period of time. It's possible John the Baptist was a Nazarite. I believe Yeshua was under a Nazarite vow at a certain part of his ministry based upon information compiled from the four Gospels. I'm not saying that he was, but I think it's possible based upon the way the information stacks up. The Nazarite vow. So maybe the house of Rechab is just under a Nazarite vow. But verse 7, And do not build a house, neither sow seed, nor plant a vineyard, nor have any of these, but dwell in tents all your days, so that you live many days on the face of the land where you are sojourners. No, it's deeper than that. I don't want you tied to your vineyards. I want you sojourners, moving about the face of the earth. So we obeyed the voice of Yonadav, son of Rechab, our father, in all that he commanded us, to drink no wine in all our days, we, our wives, our sons, and our daughters, nor to build ourselves houses to dwell in. And we have no vineyard, field, or seed, but we dwell in tents, and have obeyed and done according to all that Yonadav, our father, commanded us. So we have this tradition of men that we have done all these years, generations. even though Yah said to Jeremiah, come into the house of God and drink wine, they're like, no, we're good. I know God said, but we're good. We don't do that. You see how this pattern is starting to emerge? And it came to be when Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel, came up to the land, we said, come. This is being the Rechabites. Come, let us go into Jerusalem for fear of the army of the Kasdim, and for fear of the army of the Arameans, so we dwell in Jerusalem. And the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, thus said Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh Sabaoth, the Elohim of Israel, go, and you shall say to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, have you not received instruction to obey my words? Declares Yahweh. Have you not received instruction to obey my words? Not what your granddaddy said, not what your daddy said. Have you not received instructions to obey my words? Declares Yahweh. Instruction. What is the Torah? It's instruction. The words of Yonadav, son of Rechab, which he commanded his sons not to drink wine, are established, and they've not drunk wine to this day, for they have obeyed their father's command. And as for me, Yahuwah, I have spoken to you, rising early and speaking to you, but you've not obeyed me. Oof. You listened to your grandpappy, but you didn't listen to the creator of the world. And I sent to you all my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, turn each one from his evil way and make good your deeds, and do not go after other mighty ones, false gods, to serve them. And you shall dwell in the land which I have given you and your fathers. But you've not inclined your ear, nor obeyed me. Are they dwelling in the land when they're sojourning? The sons of Yonadav, son of Rechab, have indeed carried out the command of their father, which he commanded them, but this people has not obeyed me. The sons of Yonadav, son of Rechab, have indeed carried out the command of their father, which he commanded them, but this people has not obeyed me. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, see, I am bringing on Judah and on all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all the evil I have pronounced against them, because I have spoken to them, but they did not listen, and I have called to them, but they did not answer. I hear so many times today, I pray, but I can't hear the voice of God. Read the book of Proverbs. The unrighteous one, even his prayer is an abomination. The unrighteous one, even his prayer is an abomination. But what's righteousness? Luke 1 verse 6, blamelessly walking in the commands of Yah. Because I have spoken to them, the commands of Yah, but they did not listen. Oh, I don't have to do that. It's nailed to the cross. And I have called to them, here's all the prophets. Here's my son. Here's me made flesh, that you might walk in his steps. 1 Peter 2:21. For this you were called, that Messiah, having suffered for your sins, that you might walk in his steps. For I have called to them, that in him there is no sin, no lawlessness. 1 John 3 verse 4. And no deceit was found in his mouth. He did not say a single word against the Torah of the prophets. You were called to walk after Messiah. I've called to them, but they did not answer. You say, God won't speak to me. Homie, he wrote you an entire book. He wrote you a love letter called the Bible. You own it. Read it. But Barrett, so much. Where do I start? Like any other book on the face of the earth, on the first page. Why do we make this more difficult than it needs to be? Open the book and read it. Oh, but it's hard to understand. Do you know how much commentary there is on the word? Volumes and volumes and volumes. You can go back in the biblical playlists here. Start in Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. because I have spoken to them, but they did not listen, and I have called to them, but they did not answer. And Jeremiah said to the house of the Rechabites, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, because you have obeyed the commands of Yonadav your father, and guarded all his commands, and done according to all that he commanded you, therefore thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, of Yonadav the son of Rechab, there shall never cease to be a man to stand before me. Now, this doesn't necessarily make sense at face value. They're not doing what Yah told them to do. They're doing what their granddaddy told them to do. Yet they get to never cease from standing before Yah. Why is that? This is mercy. This is grace. Look at the obedience that they have displayed. They did not know, is the implication here. They knew what they were taught, and what they were taught was you live this way. They hadn't been taught. You keep the Torah, you walk in Yah's commands. Because I've spoken to them, but they did not listen, and I've called to them, but they did not answer. He who can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. If this group of Rechabites can be trusted to keep their granddaddy's word, they can be trusted to keep the Father's word. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel. How many times have I said you want to be Israel? Because you have obeyed the commands of Yonadav your father, and guarded all his commands, and done according to all that he commanded you. Therefore thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, of Yonadav son of Rechab, there shall never cease to be a man to stand before me. So they're displaying the appropriate character and heart set. They just didn't have a fullness of understanding of the word. Think about that. Think about the implications that that has for your grandpa or your dad or your grandma or your mom or whoever. They didn't have a fullness of the understanding of this word, but they were doing the best that they could with the understanding that they had. There's a proverb for that. Assuming I can find it. I'm pretty smoked out here on deployment. Just give me a moment. Well, Proverbs 28 verse 9, he who turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer is an abomination. Although, that's not what I was looking for. Proverbs 28:18, he who walks blamelessly is saved. Walks blamelessly. Proverbs, or Luke 1 verse 6, he who walks blamelessly is saved, but the perverted one falls, but the perverted of ways falls at once. I can't find it. too smoked. But there's this proverb that basically says that your understanding and accountability rise and fall together. So if the sons of Rechab only had a certain amount of understanding, and they were doing the best they could with that understanding, that's where their accountability to Yahuwah lies. Same thing with people who only know what they've been taught, only know what they've been exposed to in the church. That's their level of understanding. It's part of why this channel is so dangerous spiritually, because I'm going to increase your understanding based upon the word of the Bible, based upon the word of Yah. And your accountability will rise as your understanding rises. And so you're now accountable for the things that you're not doing, but you know you need to do. That's the point of this story of the sons of Rechab. They did what they knew to do. What they were taught was right. Because of that, there will not cease to be a man to stand before Yahweh from the sons of Rechab. Man, I wish I could find that proverb. Proverbs 21:30. There is no wisdom or understanding or counsel against Yahweh. So there goes your religious bullcrap right out the door. Well, I apologize. If I can find it, I'll put it in the notes. Proverbs 19:16. He who guards the command guards his life. Interesting. Well, I digress. That's Jeremiah 35. Do what Yah told you to do. Do what Yah told you to do. And even Yah says, have I not sent my prophets rising up early in the morning to teach you my word? You have this. Read this. If you don't, get one. If you can't afford one, email admin@Grindstone Ministries and just tell us where to send you a copy of the scriptures. They'll show up at your doorstep for free. Jeremiah 35. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Shalom.